Boy, the NFL is dealing with a lot of stuff. You know, the Tennessee coach is out. I think an interesting case is what's going on in New England with Cam Newton having, sidelined himself in a quarterback battle there. Is this just going to be constant? Is this going to, grow up at all?
I don't know. I think it's just going to play on as it is. The funny thing about the Cam Newton story, it was some sort of misunderstanding that led to this. And, I know we're in the preseason, but we don't want any misunderstandings when the season starts week 1, especially when everything counts. I think what's interesting about this is, does the NFL or do the NFL teams in, say, Texas or Florida have a plan here? You got a couple NFL teams in Texas, a couple NFL teams in Florida. The COVID numbers are very high. We're opening up stadiums. Obviously, they'll be outdoors, but still, the big night is opening night when I think it's Dallas and Tampa. So I guess the question would be, what do you plan on doing if you're an NFL team? What they're doing right now, not playing anybody, leaving their quarterbacks out of the game. Strategy, obviously you want them healthy for the start of the season, but also you want them away from other teams. You want them to be ready to play week 1. The other thing too is the depth chart. I think that's going to be very important. Guys who maybe were, getting 1 or 2 shots in the middle of the preseason, at the end of the preseason get cut, start the preseason off, you get to see them, and if you cut them, you cut them, but they're going to get a lot of chances to make an NFL team.
Yeah, that even with one fewer preseason game. I know you like conspiracy theories, and you were again. The whole Cam Newton thing is Cam Newton is sidelined the day after Bill Belichick says he's my starting quarterback, and then the next day he says, well, this is going to give Mac Jones an opportunity to show what he can do.
So what's interesting about this Patriots thing is he didn't test positive. He just screwed up with the policy. He left where he was allowed to go within Massachusetts and had to test back in over 5 days. But he got permission from the Patriots to go do it. So now there's this massive conspiracy theory that Bill Belichick decided, I want to give Mac Jones a look without causing any controversy in the locker room. Therefore, we'll give him permission to do this knowing he's going to have to sit out. But that being said, you brought up the whole traveling all over the country and things are open up again, right? The NFL has experience dealing with COVID, but they don't have experience dealing with COVID when everything is wide open, stadiums, things like that. Look, you're looking at
they don't control it like they did.
Yeah, you're looking at the possibility that things are worse this year for players missing games than they were last year because, heck, even the players... there weren't places to go. Teams were watching over them like hawks, and you didn't have fans and players. Think about the game day staff that's going to be in and out of those stadiums that weren't there last year. I think why the NFL isn't testing everybody, vaccinated, unvaccinated, every day is beyond me. Because you can make the argument that if that had happened in Buffalo this week, that you would have 4 Bills players that are unvaccinated that were close contact that are still with the team over the 5 days that they should have been there the entire time. Like, your billion-dollar industry, you can't afford a test every day for folks that are on the roster to make sure things run the right way?
Well, look at the Cole Beasley situation where it wasn't even so much him. He was in contact with somebody on the staff who has COVID-19. So then he goes away for 5 days. That messes with the chemistry of whatever he's working on with Josh Allen. So now you don't have a guy that you normally need there for week 1, even though he hasn't really played a lot. So it's just really the domino effect. I think what Duffy's talking about is the domino effect of who's in touch with whom and where do they go. And remember, these guys are leaving the camp and will go home or go wherever. And who knows if they go out for a drink or what happens. How are you going to be able to quarantine everybody when everything's open?
And think about this. Right? When it comes to the regular season, like this happened for the Bills in the preseason, it's okay right now. What are you going to do? We're learning lessons. But any NFL player that's unvaccinated or test positive while vaccinated on Tuesday or further can't play in a game on Sunday. Think about that, right? Like, you have 1 day in which you can have a close contact. By the way, they're not usually in the buildings Monday after games anyway. Like, this is a potential nightmare for the NFL. Test every day. I don't care about status.
Well, look, it's been upheld in the courts, and to your point, the NFL could legally say, be vaccinated or don't play.
Yeah, but now you're talking about a public image issue, right? Because you have so many people in this country that believe a certain thing, right? Well, now you're going to be costing yourself money. If the NFL cares about 2 things, money and safety, right? So that's why they're not just going to mandate it and let it happen.
Next man up. That's what the NFL is saying. Next man up. Whoever goes down, doesn't get past protocol. That's fine. Next player up. Depth chart's got to be 2, 3 deep.